most people are unaware that the United States delegation to the World Health Assembly has submitted amendments that are going to be voted upon from May 22nd to May 28th. And inside those amendments is legal language that would give away not just American sovereignty, but the sovereignty of 193 other nations for a total of 194 to the World Health Organization. The current law makes it such that each country is sovereign and can tell the WHO to shove it if the WHO is trying to declare what they refer to as public health emergency of international concern. Currently, the WHO is required to get the agreement of all of the countries around the world. The amendments would change that. It would strip away the sovereignty of every nation on earth, hand that sovereignty over to the WHO, and in effect, you would have one world government. Now, we have less than 4 weeks to spread the word. I've put together all of this information. This is not a conspiracy theory. The documents are on the website because they're on the World Health Organization's website. You just got to look at them. You won't believe what you see, but you can see it. You don't have to take my word for it. Go to don'tyoudare.info. That's not .com. It's don'tyoudare.info to learn how our delegates who are going to the World Health Assembly, in my humble opinion, are either about to commit treason, sedition, or at the very least, administrative malfeasance.
Good morning, Patriots. JT, Serenity Farms Prepping here. So we have a lot of treasonous, corrupt things being done by the Democrats and the deep state globalists to try and collapse the U.S. and other countries to create their one world global cabal, turning every country into a third world shithole. But this month, May 22nd through the 28th, I believe, we have likely the most dangerous attempt to take the U.S. sovereignty away from it. And it appears that the Biden Democrat regime is all in on this. So let's take a peek. All right. So the World Health Organization is attempting a power grab. Most people have never heard of the International Health Regulations, IHR. The United States agreed to the IHR in 2005. These regulations, and pay attention, override and supersede the U.S. Constitution. On January 18, 2022, the United States submitted a number of amendments to the IHR that serve to give away even more of our sovereignty and greatly empower the World Health Organization to restrict your health-related rights and freedoms. The 75th meeting of the World Health Assembly will be held in Geneva, Switzerland this May 22 through 28. The Assembly will vote on the amendments to the IHR. They are very likely to pass and be enacted into international law unless we the people stand up against this attack on our sovereignty. All right. Now, the amendments to the IHR do not need to be approved by 2/3 of the U.S. Senate. We have already agreed to obey the IHR by virtue of our membership in the UN and the WHO. We have already given away some of our sovereignty. These amendments are designed to confuse the member nations into giving away even more of their sovereignty. In addition to the proposed amendments to the IHR, the WHO has also set up an intergovernmental negotiating body that is actively negotiating an international treaty on pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. The proposed pandemic treaty is separate from, in addition to, the proposed amendments to the IHR mentioned above. The pandemic treaty does not yet exist. It is being drafted and negotiated right now behind our backs. Discussions regarding the pandemic treaty are important, but they are also part of a sophisticated diversion to confuse people and get them to ignore the immediate concern, which is the amendments to the IHR being considered by the World Health Assembly this May 22nd through the 28th. The time to speak up and stand up for your rights is now. They do actually have a website describing everything that's going to happen to us. Don'tYouDare.info. So make no mistake, the pedophile regime and the Democrats, they're not being distracted by new wording. They are all in on this. They have been trying for years to get rid of American sovereignty, power, independence. Remember, Hussein Sotero Obama got us into the Paris Climate Accord and other stupid UN treaties, and 45 got us out of all that crap. So what is also happening right now is the WHO and the UN are coming up with penalties for all nations that refuse to abide by the pandemic treaty. Some of the wording that I've seen in the pandemic treaty that doesn't exist yet is that a national health emergency doesn't have to be proven. It only has to be suggested that there's one, and a worldwide lockdown can be ordered by the WHO or the UN. Can you imagine what penalties will be for nations that decide to say, screw you? Will blue helmets be attempting to invade a country to enforce lockdowns like they want to do now? I don't know that people understand the seriousness of what we just talked about here. Matter of fact, I would bet you 90% of the population has no clue this is even happening. If this goes through, meaning if the Biden regime signs the U.S. onto this, it's over. We're done. We will have no say in anything. And the country will be done faster than it's going to be now. You have to spread this word. Do whatever you can. Share this video as many times as you can. Make sure you tell people this is going on. We only got about 2 weeks to stop this. Or at least stop the U.S. from becoming part of this. I could care less if these other countries sell their people out. But we have had enough of Democrats and rhinos already selling out this country and our sovereignty. That does away with our Constitution, everything. This is what they want, because if they get it and it does away with our Constitution, guess what they're coming for? That's right. Prepare for long-term being on your own, folks. www.storagechef.com, SFP15. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. But for now, JT, signing off.